Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jennifer. I'm so happy to have you. So today we are going back into the Meghan Markle files. She released a sneak peek from her show that's coming out on March 4th with Love Meghan. And I wanted to discuss, because there's always a lot to discuss. I want to take a little bit of a different spin on this because I know you've probably seen all the videos so far. I mean, literally, like I always tell you this, but all of the stuff that she releases always comes so fast. It's really hard for keep up. So I like to pick and choose what I comment on. I didn't comment on her Instagram story that she released yesterday because there wasn't really much to talk about there. I don't want to make a video if I feel like it's not that interesting. But with this one, because it's a sneak peek and because it's an somewhat of an extended clip, everyone's going to be talking about it. Everyone's going to be, giving their takes on it. I wanted to do a little bit of a different spin. I am a 50-year-old college educated, okay? I'm a full-time homeschool mom. I'm a content creator. I don't profess to know everything about business, but I want to watch this and maybe give some marketing tips to her from just a normal person standpoint because she's trying to appeal to just normal everyday people. I mean, she is a normal everyday person. She doesn't think she is, but she is. But she's trying to market to people who might watch this, find this fascinating. But let's just talk about it from just a marketing point of view, just from just like a personality point of view type of thing. Let's give her some tips. So my first initial reaction upon watching is that is very forced exchange. I know it's supposed to look like fun banter to people getting to know each other as friends and in a kitchen. It does not come across that way. It comes across as very scripted and almost forced. And I say that because of her stilted reactions. He opens the door several times in that exchange for her to expand on it and help us as an audience get to know her guest, and as she's getting to know him, we can get to know her more. But she doesn't do it. She doesn't want to get to know him and ask him questions. She just goes on to the next thing that she wants to talk about. The way that they're starting this clip is they're talking about Koreatown in Los Angeles and talking about the music and the club scene, and it kind of looks like it's going to start going into maybe an interesting area because we're talking about dances and music and fun stuff. And he even talks about, he says, "Oh, I was in a dance troupe or group or whatever." And she doesn't ask him about it. There's just an uncomfortable silence. And then she just starts talking about, "Oh, what kind of music do you like to listen to?" So the whole thing just seems very forced. And you definitely sense and feel that uncomfortable silence there. And you can almost hear her mind rattling. Oh, yeah. What kind of music do you listen to when you're cooking? It's a little weird. Okay. So I'm going to play it and discuss. Okay. Okay. So let's go. You ready for this? Come on.
The best thing about Koreatown, you could go to all ages clubs and karaoke bars.
I was part of dance crews, all that stuff.
You were?
Yeah.
No one talks about.
Okay. I'm going to talk about these all age clubs that she's talking about in Koreatown. I'm from Southern California too, and I'm 7 years older than her. So we'll get to that. But did you notice how he says, "Oh yeah, I was all into dancing and I was in dance troupes and what." Notice how she does not even ask him about that. She just starts talking about what she wants to talk about. "Oh, these are the dances she liked." Well, why don't you talk about what he was doing? This is your guest. And from a marketing standpoint, you don't want to look full of yourself. If you invite people on a set to be part of your show, yes, we know it's the Meghan show, but maybe people want to find out about Mr. Choi here and what he likes and what he's all about. He looks like he's got some interesting things to say. I mean, the guy's got tattoos all up and down his arm, so he looks like he's lived some life. So let's go back a little bit.
Dance crews, all that stuff.
You were?
Yeah.
No one talks.
Dance crews. And she was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's got some stories. I'm sure he does." And then she just starts talking about something else. This is weird.
Dance crews, all that stuff.
You were?
Yeah.
No one talks about all the dances that were such a big deal. Not the actual dance,
Like
but
the
the
Roger
dances.
Rabbit?
The Roger Rabbit and the Kid and Play. And it was just so much.
Okay, we'll talk about the kid and play stuff too, because that's important when you consider her age. But I'm not sure what she means when she says no one talks about those dances. I mean, if you were talking about stuff that was popular in the late 80s, early 90s, sure, you would talk about it. It's probably not an everyday topic of conversation because that's, over 30 years ago now, but okay. It just seems to me like it's stuff that she kind of knows that she wants to talk about, so she'll insert it into the conversation. But it's not following the flow of a conversation and just kind of seeing where the conversation takes you. That's why I think her podcast was the way that it was, because a good podcast is a free exchange of conversation ideas off the cuff between two people, the host and the guest, or often just the host talking about things. And her podcast wasn't like that. It was because we all know that she, unless they were the top A people, she wasn't even really talking and interviewing them. Other people were interviewing them, and then she was going in and interjecting and, salt and peppering the episode with her thoughts and her insights. But it wasn't her sitting around from the start of the podcast to the end just talking to someone, because I really feel that that is what makes her uncomfortable, is that she has to control and steer the conversation at all times. And that's why I feel that she's so unrelatable in so many ways, and why people don't like it, is she has to be able to just surrender and just kind of go with it and see where things take you in a conversation. And she seems very unwilling to do that. And that is not marketable. People want people that are going to talk and that are going to just go with it. And she doesn't really seem to want to do that. So
like the Roger Rabbit.
The Roger Rabbit and the Kid and Play, and it was just so much.
So they're talking about the dances, the Roger Rabbit. And if you're, 45 and up, if you know, the Roger Rabbit, the Running Man, the Kid and Play type dancing in the late 80s, early 90s, that was all a thing. That was a huge thing back then. And a fun thing to do at that point would have been to, start busting out the Running Man or the Roger Rabbit. Just be silly and dumb in the kitchen. I guarantee you that would have been a really, really cute moment that she could have done. But then again, it's like, you can't script something like that. So it's not like you can tell her to be spontaneous and just dance and be funny. But I mean, her dad spent a lot of money on dance classes for her. So you'd think that she would know that dance and bust it out. And just, I don't know. That's what I would have done. But Netflix isn't making a show with me, so.
And the Kid and Play, and it was just so much fun.
Man, you and I are so similar. You and I are like we should have met a long time ago.
I grew up in Southern California, all races, all ethnicities, went to school with Korean kids, Japanese kids, Chinese kids, Mexican kids. I'm half Mexican. Black kids. We didn't talk about the R word the way that it's so all over the place now. We didn't look at color. We just had friends. And I could tell, look at his face. You could tell he's fun. He is fun. And when he's telling her, because they're kind of semi-bonding over, the music that they liked and the dance that they like. And you could tell he's trying to rope her in and be like, yeah, we could have hung out. But she doesn't jump in there and be like, yeah, we could have hung out. She just lets these uncomfortable pauses just kind of simmer. And then she's, okay, do you cook and listen to music? It's just, I just feel bad. You could tell he was trying. He was really trying. And she just wasn't engaging with the poor man. And that's not relatable if you can't have banter and, I know. Okay, hold on.
Kid and Play, and it was just so much fun.
Man, you and I are so similar. You and I are like we should have met a long time ago.
Do you listen to...
That is the longest pause. I cannot believe she allowed that pause. And he's trying to be sweet, but unfortunately, I don't think they're anything alike. She seems extremely uppity to me, and he's just a dude with his dancing crew hanging out in the late 80s, early 90s. I looked up Chef Choi, and I'll show you a little blurb about him, but he's 54 years old. So he's 4 years older than me. So that would mean around 1990, when these dances and the Kid and Play house party movie first came out and all that little era that Meghan's referencing, he was, let's see, how old was I in 1990? In 1990, I was about 16 years old. So that would have made him 20. So he's in his prime back then. So he got stories. She didn't ask him. She didn't ask him anything. It was just long, long pause.
Do you listen to music when you're cooking?
I do. I listen to a lot of lyrical hip hop, jazz, some.
Okay, why would she have that face? I mean, people have got they've got their preferences, right? So, okay, so that's the face that this poor man gets when he says he likes speed metal. It's not my cup of tea, but I wouldn't give someone a look like that.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
What's speed metal?
just like dark.
Speed metal is like Megadeth. It's, I don't know if would you call Metallica speed metal? But she's never heard of Megadeth, speed metal, Metallica. Like, again, at that point, if you're going to look at them like that, like a duchess, a funny thing to do, again, call them on it and be like, speed metal in the kitchen, really? What's your favorite speed metal song? Lay it on me. Like, just anything. But it just, to me, she looks like a mom almost scolding her kid, as if to say, don't play that speed metal around me. I don't get two contemporaries talking. I get a mom vibe, definite mom vibe, that is unacceptable. Speed metal? I don't know.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
What's speed metal?
just like dark.
That doesn't sound like the Choi of cooking.
Yeah, but we all have different sides to who we are.
That's true. Multifaceted folks. That's what we are.
It's good for when you're butchering. So I cut these into squares.
Okay. And at that point, he's just like, I am done with this conversation. So now I'm back to talking about what I'm doing here. But that was just a really uncomfortable exchange to watch. And when I talk about giving the woman marketing tips, just how can you tell somebody to just relax? And I'm feeling more and more nervous for her, because this is supposed to be the best bit that I guess they're giving us a sneak peek on. And this is forced and painful to watch. And if this is the best bit, how is she relating to the other guests on here? I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Doesn't look good. Okay, and the other thing I want to touch upon with you guys here is she's talking about dances that were popular in the late 80s, early 90s. Like when she talks about the Roger Rabbit, there was this dance called the Running Man. Kid and Play was a really popular rap duo, and they came out with a bunch of movies called House Party. And the first one came out on March 9th, 1990. At that point, Meghan wasn't yet 9 years old. So she's talking about how in Koreatown there were all these all-age dance clubs. And just to show you how just a normal amateur sleuth can go online and type into Google, and look what I found out. And I typed in, were there all-age dance clubs in Koreatown in the Los Angeles area in the late 80s, early 90s? And this is what popped up. No, Los Angeles didn't have all-age dance clubs in Koreatown in the early 90s, but it did have a thriving club scene. So I went to clubs dancing with my friends before I was 21. The minimum age you could be to go and dance with your friends and have fun in clubs, in certain clubs and stuff, was 18. You could go and dance and have fun with your friends, but you could not be served alcohol. So I don't know what she's talking about, because when this movie was released in 1990, like I said, because at the time of release, which was March 3rd, 1990, when the first Kid and Play House Party movie came out, she was not even 9 years old. So, and I mean, by 1999, she was 18. So they weren't doing the Roger Rabbit and all that kind of stuff almost 10 years later at that point. So I'm not really sure what she's talking about. But again, all these weird little things and little inconsistencies. And if you know about the House Party movies, the early 90s, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a super fun time when that movie came out. So she wasn't even 9 yet. So I don't know what she's talking about. So March 4th is days away. And we need to see less of this face and more I don't know, just be yourself, be authentic, be off the cuff. talk to your guests, ask them about themselves, let them open up, let the conversation flow. But I think it's too late. If this is the best of what Netflix is showing us before they're going to debut this thing, it it doesn't look good. You have to be able to relax and you have to be able to calm down. And I know she always talks about how, we don't know her, we don't know the real her. She's always been held back. She can't share things with us. I mean, let's be real. She's been sharing with us since she left that family. She's been paying PR to put out all the things that she wants out there. I don't know if she is capable of just relaxing and being herself. I really think that I don't know if she doesn't like herself and that's why she won't just let go and just relax. But if this is what we have to look forward to, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be watching this thing so that you guys don't have to. There's going to be a lot of people out there watching this show, giving their commentary. But this just looks really boring. And the parts where they're talking and there's not a lot of music in the background to kind of pep things up, that's when it was, I just felt like I was a balloon with the air being let out little by little. It was just, there was no flow to the conversation. You could tell he was trying, and you could tell probably in the back of his mind, he's thinking, is she going to throw out some stuff? Like I'm throwing stuff out to her and she ain't biting back. She's just going with her own little script in her head. So, and the other thing I was thinking too is that, Americans and even Brits, we're a pretty forgiving lot and we can forgive a lot. And if she, again, would just relax and be just natural and free flowing and show the real her, we might forgive because we might just see her softening a bit, but I don't know if there is a real her. I don't know if she's capable of being authentic. And there's been a lot of things that she has done to her own family and to the royal family to disrespect and devalue people, human beings, family members. And I think that's why I know that's why people are so upset. And they're upset that she's trying to change the narrative and thrust things in our face like this. And she's still trying to do it all the while not being authentic. I'm not even sure how I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to review each episode or if I'm going to I might be forced to review each episode as it comes out because we don't know how they're going to release this thing. But maybe I'll review 2 episodes at a time or something because I think if I have to do one at a time, I don't know. Like I'm gonna need some help here. I mean, I'm gonna need I don't know if I'm gonna need trauma counseling or what, but just watch this thing one time and then I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna go in the office, turn on my computer and film this. So this is what we have, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we have. This is the best that Netflix is serving up hot and fresh for us right now. So yeah, this is what we got. And I do apologize if I've ruined your afternoon or your evening or whenever you're watching this. So I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to try to have a good evening, good rest of my evening. I'm also going to be uploading very, very soon chapter 2 for my Joan Crawford videos, my Way of Life book that I'm reading. And also I have a makeup tutorial that I want to share with you guys. And in the tutorial, I'm talking about everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm loving and using these days. And I'm also going to be talking about the direction that I want to take my channel in. And as I'm increasing my viewership, I've gotten a few snarky, kind of rude comments here and there. People who I guess are angry that I'm talking about things that aren't beauty and, yelling at me that they're unsubscribing and all that kind of stuff. So I talk about that and I talk about the direction I want to take my channel in and how I just don't want to just talk about one thing. I want to talk about a bunch of things. I have a lot of interests and I'm sure you do too. So watch out for that video. I get a lot of really sweet comments from you guys. A lot of you really like my makeup. So if you're interested in all that and you want to see what I'm using and what I'm doing, and for those of you who don't know, I've been an esthetician for over 20 years. So I love talking about skincare and beauty, but from a simple routine type of perspective. I'm not the influencer that's going to try to tell you you need a 10-step Korean skincare routine to have beautiful skin. That's not what I'm about. So I'm going to be uploading that very soon as well. So I just wanted to pop on, talk about this one for you guys, and thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. It means so much, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye.